Hello farmers, and welcome back to Pichonniere Valley on Farming Simulator 25, and just like that, the rain shows up. I actually just finished a mowing contract. I've been on here just for a little while. A couple workers have finished some other contracts as well. We're going to click on those in just a moment. Hello John, Miles, welcome. Hope you guys have had a good Wednesday and a nice Thursday so far. But I actually have 3 completed contracts to collect on. I mean, they're well enough paying, but they're not like high-paying contracts. But money is money. I was hoping to log in today and find some $20,000 contracts I could have got done before the stream started, but there were none available. It's the middle of harvest season, or the start of harvest season, so not a lot of plowing and cultivating contracts for the big fields yet. That will probably come later on in like September, more than likely. But for ourselves, yeah, it's June. Last stream, we harvested our winter barley, and we found out the winter barley did yield a lot better than the spring barley. So we're going to be planting the winter crops over the spring crops because the yield was that much better. I think it was like a 10% increase in yield, actually. So pretty darn good. But let's get this back to the farm, and we'll collect on those contracts. Yeah, past that intersection, and then the next one on the left. So yeah, also last stream we made a few purchases. We went on through the winter months. We got ourselves a Fendt tractor. Not exactly the one I was looking to buy, but its little younger brother came up for sale, so we purchased it. We got that. What else did we buy? Oh, we bought ourselves a See and Spray weed sprayer. And we also got ourselves, oh yeah, the lime spreader. So, some pretty good purchases for the farm. Currently, we're going to be saving up for, I don't know if I'm going to be saving up for the oil production, or maybe we'll get the cows going at some point. We'll have to wait and see. Hello Diamondback, and hello whatever. Welcome, welcome. Mr. Live yesterday. I did not, I was not live yesterday. So you didn't miss anything. I was not on Pichonniere Valley yesterday. Yesterday, the only thing I released was the episode of Shamburgo. So you missed nothing as far as live streams yesterday. Actually, the mower, might as well keep the mower right on here because our grass fields will be ready to be cut in July. So we'll leave this right on here. And it being, actually it's 7 o'clock in the evening, so not much left of this month left. Anyways, probably just skip right on through and get right on through. So, I did a plowing contract. This field is right on down the road for $6,528. Going to collect on that. The first mowing contract I did was $6,041. Collect on that. And the field I was just in was $3,697. Collect on that. Getting us up to $30,897 in the bank account. As for the sale page, some things have changed. A stone picker is something we might need on the farm, and actually that's the one I would go with. That's the modded one. Double the working width and double the capacity on stones. Our fields don't have many stones in it, so I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, nothing else here that we need. So I think we're all set. The chickens are doing well. We are up to, wait, how full is the pen now at this point? About what, 30% full? Probably somewhere around there, almost a quarter, 30% full. And we got a few amount of chickens. Let's see, we got 10, 20, 30, 40 chickens right now making eggs and reproducing. And next month we're going to add another 10 more. But they are, yeah, we did fill the feed trough. And according to this calculator, they're now eating 655 liters per month. And currently we got enough feed in there to last a year and a half. But that's going to go down rapidly because we're going to get more and more chickens, which means we're going to eat more and more food. Let's just go ahead and go to bed. Get rid of the rain, get rid of the month. July should be somewhat busy. Like I said, we got our grass fields to cut, bale, wrap. And then we also got our wheat field should be ready. Is the wheat field ready? Let's see here. Wheat field is ready. Great. Contracts to start off with. There is a cultivating contract. I could get started a worker on that. Harvesting for 34,000. That's got to be a veggie contract. It is not. That is for mustard. Whew. I don't think that's a big field for us. There's a nice mowing contract, but we're going to be doing mowing ourselves. But that field comes up quite a bit up by the livestock market. That comes up quite a bit. All right, so, I mean, there's a cultivating contract I could get started on. Where is that exactly? Okay, I know where that is. Let's go ahead and we're going to grab... You know what? We'll grab you. Be nice if I actually accepted the contract. And the Mercedes will go ahead and do that contract while we're doing mowing and harvesting. I'll probably do the harvesting first. Looking at the weather, we got rain in the forecast. So we'll do the harvesting first. Then we'll move on to the mowing, baling, and all that fun stuff. Cultivator is here. Am I using a mod to make the icons blue? Yeah, there's I think it's called the Advanced Settings mod. What's it actually called here? I think it's actually called the Additional Settings. I could change the color to interface color to any color that we actually want. I'll leave it on blue because blue, well, first of all, I do like the color, but it does seem to stand out a little bit better. I could switch it to orange. I mean, we could switch to any color that we wanted to. Yeah, usually I don't stream on Wednesdays. I try to take at least 2 days a week off from streaming. Doesn't mean it's very rare I actually have a day off during the week anyways. Because either when I'm not streaming, I might be recording episodes or testing out some other games that we might be playing in the future. Do they have any silos for storing milk? I'm not sure if Omatana's silos will take milk. Something I really haven't looked into, if there's anything that stores milk. I'm sure there are containers out there that store milk. Oh, here's my field right there. Well, not our field, but the field I got to do the contract in. So this is the good thing now about having 2 tractors in the high 100 horsepower range. We can set this off on a contract while we use the other tractor for transporting grain or whatever. Let me get rid of the mini-map. We don't need that. But let's go ahead and get ourselves a worker. Field work. Let's see. 4 headlands. Yeah, why not? 0% overlap. Yeah, that's fine. Find the gear that you want, buddy. Alright, it says it's going to take about 20 minutes. Alright, here is our combine. I am thinking I can probably get on down the road without bringing the header. Ooh, wait a minute. Actually, I may not be able to get on down through the bridge. So, almost forgot about the bridge right at the grain mill. I didn't check the sale page this morning. What do we got? Nothing. I think there was a Deutz Fahr that was for sale. That's gone. But other than that, nothing new. There's Sam's tennis ball. It has rolled from his doghouse. Not sure if the header would have gotten over this bridge. Actually, this bridge is wider than it looks. And also the side, yeah, that I could have came on down here without having to bring the trailer, but no big deal. Alright, so we should be able to jump up our score on precision farming for this field. Last season, we bought the field as is right during harvest season, and it was pretty much in bad shape. I think when I got done harvesting it, my score in this field was like a 45. And currently, we got it up to a 62. And obviously, no fertilizer or lime. Well, lime is like halfway. But hopefully here in just a second, the score would jump up to almost 100%. Which will help our overall score, which means better prices when we sell. Again, so no stream yesterday, but I did release an episode of Shamburgo. Yesterday, I got a chance to try. Sky Harvest has been putting out some updates, but still, I am unable to advance from where I was. Either the content is not in the game yet, or I am bugged, or I have no idea. I have read comments of people starting a new game and having problems of where the farm is, that all the stuff they chopped down and mined before does not reappear. So they can't do anything, so I'm afraid to restart a new save to try it out. So I'm kind of waiting for like a big update to the game, but I'll keep trying it every now and then to see if I can advance on that. So Sky Harvest, even though I'm liking the game, it's got some issues, at least on my end that I'm seeing. Also yesterday, for the first time in about a couple weeks, I finally got a chance to play some more City Skylines 2. Just trying to advance a little bit in that off camera. That is probably going to be more of a recorded episode series. Just because you got to wait time for money to come on in. And since I don't play City Skylines 2 that much, I'm still learning about the game and how things kind of work. But hopefully, I'm kind of hoping I'll have an episode out maybe by Saturday, where we can do something with it. And I think we got a couple more games on the horizon. We might have some early look, and honestly, I could, the same day I got emails from two different companies. It's the same type of game. Both of them have to do with being a park ranger. I think one of the games come out in late February, and the other one comes out in March. We might get some early access to those two games right there. So we got a possibility of that. I did some looking up on A Plague Tale Innocence, because we were talking a little about that on Tuesday. All I know is from looking at the Steam page, the game is still scheduled to be released this year, but no idea what quarter it's going to be released. So, yeah, even though I wasn't streaming yesterday, I was rather busy doing stuff. I also see on American Truck Sim Cruising Louisiana, that is starting to come along rather well. I think I won't have to do any more events there. Because where I left off, I think it was in Texarkana, so I won't be able to get back. I won't have to go back to Louisiana by the time I record an episode, either tonight or tomorrow or something. I just got raided. I did not see the notification come up. Hello, LOC. How you doing? I'm going to assume that was probably you that raided me. Very much appreciated. Hope your stream went rather well. So our new tractor, bought it used. Again, kind of lucky on the tractor. I was looking for its just a bit bigger brother, but I'll take this tractor for half off. All right, how's my score in this field doing now? It should have gone up a little bit. There we go, up to 100. We're at 87. What field is... Oh yeah, so this barley field that we harvested last stream, for some reason, did not register the nitrogen. Yeah, I really hope that gets addressed at some point. Was not doing farming this morning, but you were the only one streaming that allows redirects. Yeah, YouTube is kind of rough to raid. A lot of the times when I end my streams, there's no one streaming, but not everyone streams. And if they do stream, they're not streaming usually when I end my streams. Ever tried any Tomb Raider games? Way back in the day. But yeah, yesterday I was kind of on the hunt for some new games to get involved with. And I was surprised when I got up, I had 2 emails. I thought it was about the same game, honestly. They're like, why am I getting separate emails? I'm like, oh wait, one title is different than the other. Then I was looking at the publisher, I'm like, oh, they're different publishers. I'm like, oh, they're different games. But they're both both have to do with being a park ranger. Still trying to finish the 2 projects on Kingley map. Yeah, when I did it, let's see. If you have all the materials for the castle and just go non-stop, and the castle's non-stop building, it takes about 4 in-game years to complete that. And the windmill is not that bad to build. I think that took about 1.5 years, maybe. I don't remember that one exactly, but that was not too bad. So with all the harvesting now we've done the last 2 years, I think we are going to have enough grain in stock for our chickens, so we're not going to have to be nervous about running out of feed. or having to sell our chickens. Between the winter wheat and barley, now we got 2 fields. I think we're going to be okay. So again, if you're new here on Pichonniere Valley for my live streams, we got a few rules in place. Can't take out any loans. We're not allowed to lease or borrow equipment, so anything that we want to do work on, we pretty much got to buy it. We can buy from the used section. Same thing for contracts. We can do contracts, but we can't borrow or lease equipment for that either. We're not allowed to use any tractors over 200 horsepower, and currently we're kind of sticking to the rule of no combines over 250 horsepower, so a lot of small equipment. And we started the series with no money, no equipment, no nothing. And now our farm is worth over $1 million. That's currently where we are. Kind of making myself stick to smaller equipment and stuff, which I probably have used for a little while on a lot of series, but eventually, you know, you start small and within no time at all you're at the medium and then the large stuff. Yeah, our biggest purchase is, I think, our next purchase, and that's the oil mill for 300 grand. The oil mill will allow us to, of course, make oil. Also, along with some mustard, jars of mustard. But I need the oil because eventually we're going to have ourselves some mayonnaise production. So we just need oil and eggs for that. That's why we got the chickens. But at the rate we're going, for me to get up to 300,000, it's not going to be this farming season. It'll probably be the next one, if we're lucky. It's going to be a lot of contracts, but the one that's helping us out the most is our grass fields making silage. Awesome way to sit back and enjoy the game versus going big and being quick on making money fast. Well, eventually on this, even on this series here, because I can't buy the big equipment, that means we're not going to have a lot of big expenses. So once we get the productions going, the money, we're going to probably have more money than I know what to do with, but it will allow me to be able to get like a lot of small tractors. So usually on my farm I just have like 3-4 tractors that we constantly use, but what I can do is just keep buying some small tractors, and that way we have a lot of choices of what to use that day. But we gotta earn a lot of money and get to where we need to be. And also we might get involved in doing some wine making, but that's a ways off. Hello, Crystal. Welcome. Crystal, I hope you're not in the path of the next storm. Yeah, for us here in the U.S. last weekend, the U.S. got hit with pretty nasty winter storm, and, well, this weekend we got another one. But as of right now, for myself, luckily I'm too far inland where it's not going to affect me at all. The only thing I got to worry about for the next couple of days is how cold it's going to get. Or I should say colder. I'm not sure if it's going to be tonight for me or tomorrow night, but I think the low temperature is supposed to get down near negative 20 Fahrenheit. I know last night got down to about negative 6 Fahrenheit, but it's either tonight or tomorrow night it's supposed to get down near negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So a little chilly. Well, Crystal, if you haven't heard about it yet, more than likely it's not going to hit you, because I'm pretty sure you would have heard about it on, like, in your local news or radio and all that stuff. I think it's mostly the Carolinas that are going to get hit with it. It's supposed to come up the East Coast, but I'm just a little bit too far inland to get even a snow flurry, I think, as of right now. I don't know why I'm going across this way. It's just making me another path I got to pick up for straw. Cultivating contract is just about complete. And the contract is finished. So that's going to be $4,000 in our bank account. You don't watch any TV or listen to radio. You're smart. I just watch people play games. That's all I do. Get away from all the other real world stuff that people are just going crazy on. So again, we're storing all of this winter wheat in the silo. That's going to be for the chickens. I fully understand that, Chris. I can't remember the last time I actually had cable TV or anything like that. I want to say back around 2007 or 8 is when I got rid of all that kind of service. First of all, the prices were just way too high for how many channels I was actually watching or even programs I was watching. And honestly, nothing on TV entertained me anymore. That's when I really just got involved, start watching people on YouTube play games or on Twitch. And that's pretty much still what I do today. Am I actually going to fill this trailer? I have yet to have to go unload the trailer. Good news is, though, I can fill up the trailer, which I just did, and the rest will fit into the combine. And we can bring the combine back to the yard and unload into the silo that way. Figured to pay $3,400 a year for TV services, and that was enough. Yeah, it's pretty much where it got to. And it seemed like for a while, it was going to be great that we could get ourselves app services and watch TV that way. But now they're starting to bundle up the app services there, so now we're pretty much doing what we were before. Yeah, so other than Amazon Prime, that's about all I ever do. It's the only service I pay for. Alright, so wheat harvest is over. Let's get the combine back to the yard. We'll put out the pipe. We'll bring back the grain, get that into the silo for safekeeping. And then we'll go grab our Mercedes, which has been done with that contract. Hopefully the worker is not actually still in the tractor charging me for it. You have a service called Freeview, which at the last count gave us 118 channels. Well, if that service is free, like we always say, nothing is free. Someone's paying for it. I'll throw my beacons on even though there's no traffic on this road. Kind of the good thing, once I started my YouTube channel, I think it was 2018, is when I started it. I don't really have that much time to watch TV shows or whatever. And especially once I started to stream, I have a lot less time. Yeah, it may not be you. Well, I mean, if you still pay taxes in some way, shape, or form, it may be partially you. So I had no wheat to begin with, so we'll see how much we got off the field. Actually, no, because I don't know how much this trailer holds. I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting a feel for this tractor. It's 190 horse, but I'm not sure. I think it's when it shifts, it just seems like it's bogging itself down quite a bit. I think the Mercedes performs a little bit better, and that's 10 horsepower less. All right. Yep, we'll bring you back. Let's collect on this contract here. 4,327. I mean, that does look very, very good, but with my combine and header, that would just take me for ages to harvest that. Ages, ages, ages. Hello, Kells. Welcome. Hope you're having a tremendous Thursday. Snowfall looks like it's going to miss you, Crystal. Well, that's why I suppose if you don't want snow, that's good for you. But I think it's supposed to hit like the Carolinas and the shoreline of the East Coast pretty good. I think the Arctic cold air coming down, so it's pushing the storm out for where I'm at. And that's why we're going to hit negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit either tonight or tomorrow. Negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit is not... I don't feel like it's bad, as long as there's no wind. Negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit is like a nice cup of coffee when you step outside in the morning. It wakes you up. And this can fit in here. Now let's turn the combine off. Were you upset when Bergman left Red Sox? Kind of an odd question. But for starters, I'm not a Red Sox fan, so... Didn't bother me a bit. Alright, so we'll mow our grass fields with the Fendt. Because why not? Also, this doesn't roll... The tractor doesn't really roll that much when you let off the accelerator. Hello, Panther. Welcome. Make sure the mower is on swath dropping. Swath mower, thank you. So I do plan to convert these grass fields over to alfalfa. And probably will be after the October cut. Stay on the accelerator. I think I started Farm Sim 25 about an hour before the stream. That's why I got those 3 contracts done. And I was looking in the store page for what tractors we could max out our horsepower on. And I think the Kubota might be one that we might go for, because that has a CVT transmission in it. And I can max that at 200 horsepower. But that would be almost 200 grand brand new that way. I'm happy with the tractors we got though. Doing a 100-hectare spinach contract. I hope you got yourself a trailer that holds a lot. So again, right now we're still just cutting our grass so we can bale it, wrap it, and sell it as silage. And every time we do this, which is 3 times a year off of our 3 grass fields, we get about $40,000 worth of silage. Mandate order does not ring a bell to me at all. Oh, Lizard Colossus with a 10-meter wide header? Okay, that's going to make the job a little bit easier, but still, 100-hectare sized field of spinach. I guess I'll ask, because I am curious, how much does that contract pay? I'm guessing that contract's got to pay at least over $100,000, especially if you're not on hard economy. $250,000 on hard economy. I mean, it's still going to take you a while to do, even with that kind of a setup. Hello, Anita. Welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday so far. Before I go over to the third grass field, let's double check contracts and see if I can get another one on the go while we're still, because I still got to do all the work in the grass fields. We got to bale that straw, so I got some time left in July. Other than a mowing contract, which is about the only one I think I would do. So can't do any of those. A spraying contract, which we could do, but that's not a big enough contract for me to even think about. So mowing contract, I mean, if I wasn't mowing already, we would do it. Harvesting contracts, I mean, they are nice and nothing else I can do. So all right, so I don't really have a contract that I can set a worker off to do currently. Yeah, this tractor, when it shifts, it does seem like it takes a little bit longer to get between the gears. When I switch this grass field over to alfalfa, it's going to take probably over an hour to plant the alfalfa in this field. Don't need the beacons on while we're in the grass field. Have I tried Manalord? Manalord's does ring a bell, but I can't remember if I tried it or not. Miles, I don't know if that was a question or not when you said, but can change stuff after lease them or to get a new one. Once you lease an item from the store, it's as is. You can't make modifications to it. You would have to return it and lease another one with a setup that you want. Unless there's a mod out there that allows you to do that now, which I'm unaware of. Hey, Sam's made his way over to this grass field. He's going to mosey on in here in a second. Yes, John, I did play a Park Ranger game a couple of years ago. And it's kind of unfortunate that game didn't have more content than what it did. I mean, I'll have to see. Once I get my hands on the two separate games, I'll give them a go for a little bit and see what we have. I know one of them is supposed to come out in about 2 weeks. I mean, I'll get early access to them, but it also depends on the embargo that they put on it. And the other one, which looks, the second one that comes out in March, I think offers more than what the first one will, but have to wait and see. Because sometimes it's hard to judge on a game by playing it just for like 5-10 minutes and go, okay, this looks good enough. Seems like a functional type enough game, and you go with it. And then I end up with a game like Sky Harvest, which I was really enjoying, but now I'm stuck. Sam, don't lay right down in the... Well, no, okay, Sam is kind of in the park-hardy mode. Oh, he heard me, so now he's going to mosey on into the tall grass. Oh yeah, when I was reading on A Plague Tale Innocence, the third story of that series, I did not realize until I was reading more of the title. I guess the third story is going to be based on a completely different character. And the story actually happens before 15 years prior of the first two storylines. So, should be interesting. And again, if you haven't seen any of the Plague Tale Innocence storylines, I will be getting involved in those once the third one, when it's announced it'll be coming out. We'll play the first and second one to get everyone caught up of a refresher or an introductory course to a Plague Tale Innocence, and then we'll get right into the third one. Alright, that is the third grass field cut. I think we're going to use the Mercedes for the baling. Actually, I could. Where's that mowing contract? I won't be doing the mowing contract, but a worker will. I'm just seeing some other contracts have popped up. But let's go ahead and we'll accept this one. All right, let's go put Frank on a worker. We'll grab the Mercedes and do the baling. We got straw and grass to bale. Yeah, I definitely need to find more games to stream. Again, I still love Farming Simulator, but I don't want it to be the only game that we have available to us to stream, because I'm just going to get burnt out on it. And I'm trying to also do more recorded episodes as well of games, just because a lot of people don't make the live streams. They don't prefer the live streams. They like the recorded stuff. So, yeah, trying to make sure there's enough content out there for everyone. Hello, Nesco. Welcome. Grand Theft Auto? That's not my... No, I played Grand Theft Auto off camera. I can't really get into that too much. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to put this into regular mowing. Just on leaving a swath when I'm doing a contract. Should take about 25 minutes to get this done. Right? Okay, 35 minutes. No problem. Mercedes. Baler is over there. I think we'll go bale up the straw first, and then work our way back over to the bigger grass field. Like that Fent. I was looking to buy its a little bit bigger brother, but that's the one that came up for sale. I was like, well, 50% off. Close enough. So these straw bales should be 20,000 liters apiece. We're making 124 size round bales. Actually, that Fent that we have, that does not have the CVT transmission in it. It says manual power shift, I believe. Oh, that's not the place I want the bale to drop. So I'll have to pick up these straw bales because I want to plant the winter wheat and barley again, which September, I believe, to plant that. So yep, got to get these bales off the field. So maybe when we sell the straw bales in the winter, we'll have $10,000 worth of straw this time around. And here comes the rain. Luckily, it does not affect the baling part. So, as for implements for the farm that we're going to need, but luckily we don't need them yet. We're going to need a tedder and a windrower when we finally start making some hay bales. But that's going to be after we get our cows. Or maybe the cut before we get our cows. That way we have some supply for them. And a TMR mixer. Also going to need some sort of telehandler, or maybe just, like I said, get the front loader for the 3650. Good amount of straw off of a little field. Alright, on to the grass fields. I think I'll just start like I did with the mower. That way I'm just doing the same pathing around. Mowing contract's getting along well. 27% done. Alright, so for grass bales on 124s, they'll be 14,000 liters apiece. It is nice to have an all-in-one baler. I just hate having to stop as I bale. That's what always kept me away from the round balers. But yeah, there are some modded balers out there that got a pre-chamber, so you don't really have to do that. I think I used a couple in FS22. Actually, I think the quick bale in 25 does the same thing. Come on. Almost full. Go with the smallest header when you swath grass. Now with this, when we cut the grass, we'll just put it down nice pattern, ted it. This series here is more of taking our time, and just in my, as much as I do take my time, I still zip around here and there, but it's meant to really kind of slow down the pace of my Let's Plays and enjoy the game for what it is. So that's why we're not using super strength unless absolutely needed. And we're also not using autoloaders either. Unless we just get so much abundance of pallets. Because I don't want to be loading up pallets from like the mayonnaise production for an hour and a half. So we'll try to find a happy medium if it comes to that. To where I load up some and then just say, okay, well, we still got 80 more pallets to go, and then we'll just then we'll auto load it at a certain point if it comes to that. Again, I have no idea if the mayonnaise production how it's going to be. Use it, but it keeps missing bits. If you're talking about the quick baler, I'm surprised it would miss bits with a pre-chamber. Unless your swath is so thick that it fills up the pre-chamber too fast. So having, like I said in the last stream before we started going through the winter months, getting a second large tractor for the farm, I mean large tractor again, upper 100 horsepower, is going to be nice on the farm because we are doing a mowing contract for 10 grand while I'm using the baler, which I couldn't do before. Well, the 3650 can run the mower and the baler, but it kind of struggled a bit. So it just makes the jobs that much more easier. We are earning cash while we're doing this. Not sure what you're blocked by an object for, but Frank is a smart enough person. He'll figure it out. Right, Frank? 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 How can you get over 1/3 of the field done, including I think 3 or 4 headlands, and you're blocked by an object? All right, I think Frank needs some help. Because usually by now, if Courseplay could figure it out, they would have. But for some reason, Frank is, I don't know, maybe he had a rough night last night. Maybe that's his problem. Alright, Frank, what are you doing up there? Not sure I know what course you're getting ready to do. But I'm thinking you were trying to turn around and do this. Yeah, it just takes a second for that Fendt to get up to the gears. Not as well as the Mercedes does. Alright, was that a little bit of grass there I gotta get? I think so. Well, hopefully Frank doesn't have any more problems. Maybe that tractor can't turn as sharp as a Mercedes, which would be a shocker, because I think this Mercedes doesn't turn that well. Actually, now I'm trying to turn. Alright, so my worker's having a problem. That's like the 4th or 5th time I've mowed in that field. And it never had a problem with it getting blocked by an object with that setup before. So I'm not sure. The only difference is yeah, it's a Fendt tractor, not the Mercedes. So the Fendt is not turning as well as the Mercedes can, I suppose. Although it looks like, well, we'll see. That it's come up twice again, but the worker figured it out so far. Help is so hard to find these days. Good help is so hard to find these days. Got that right. But the Franks have come a long way since we started naming them back in FS19. I think it was FS19 I started calling them the Franks. I think it was on the Pacific Northwest series where I did the challenge of paying off a $55 million debt. And I was having a problem with the workers, and I kept going, Frank. Because, you know, I would like to say something else, but since it's kind of a PG channel, that's how they got the name the Franks. So, yep, next month we'll be selling all these silage bales. And again, that should bring in just under 40K. I'm just going to ignore that pop-up every time it comes up, because I think every pass down that side of the field is having issues. Oop, wasn't paying attention. The thing is, it's nice that the baler has a beeper on it. The problem is, it goes off so often after a while, I become immune to hearing it. I had the same problem with like the alarm on my cell phone to wake me up in the morning. I gotta change the alarm like every 2 weeks to a different tone. Because if I don't, when it goes off in the morning, I just get so used to it, I just don't pay any attention to it. Ah, Frank is stuck again. Notice how muddy the water gets when it's raining? I noticed the water is muddy here and there, but I think on this map, in some cases, it's always muddy, but yeah, I think it does get a little bit more muddier when it rains. It's like the texture of the ground now gets a darker color when it rains. Alright, let's... Yeah, we'll help you out here. I get back to what I was doing. Which is making all these lovely marshmallows, but I feel like I'm going to have to finish up that mowing contract ourselves. But by the time I get to it, they should be about 70% done, I hope. Okay, maybe not, because I mean, we're almost done with all the baling. Yeah, that's true. I could turn off the fence for that contract for the time being, but... I almost want to go into the XML file for this baler and change the audio for the beeping sound to maybe an audio file of someone saying stop. But then again, they'll just, when it starts going off, which is at 85%, you just keep hearing stop, stop, stop. Come on, Frank, figure it out. Alright. Let's go ahead and visit that field. and see if it has the option to turn off a fence. Let's go to here. And if I do this, yoink. Why are you... What are you doing? I don't know what that tractor's doing. That's not the... We've done that mowing contract many times with a worker. I've never seen that pattern. Well, as long as they're cutting blades of grass, we'll get up there and finish it ourselves in a little bit. I mean, a 4-meter wide direct drill, it's going to take a while to plant the alfalfa in this field. So when we cut the grass in October, we're going to have to find some contracts to do while this, we have a worker planting the alfalfa in this field. Alright, let's pick up this strip that someone kind of missed. And I did it again. Started to wonder, I'm like, why am I missing it again? Then also my ears were telling my brain, do you hear that sound again? Oh yeah, the beeping sound. Sorry, I auto-tuned that out. Alright, heard it that time. Alright, unload that bale. Let's just do a little bit of yard cleanup. It's not that messy, but we know how I can let it get away on me. So let's put some of this stuff away while that contract is still going on. No chickens were harmed during the farming of today. Yeah, I do know about the script that will slow down the balers, but when I tried it out, I mean, it's not a bad mod at all. It works as intended. But like when it starts beeping, it slows down your speed quite a bit. And to me, it just seems like it's slower. But then again, you know, it would stop me from missing stuff. Slow and steady wins the race on backing up. That's what they say. Let's rinse off the combine at least. I think I'm done using it for the year, but never know. And again, I bought this combine used, but it was the combine I was going to use on the series. It just happened to come up for sale, and it came up for sale at the right time. Probably about 3 or 4 months before I would have bought it in-game, or when we would have needed it. And it came up for sale used. Yeah, I probably should have folded up the combine. Let me just make sure that there are no tornadoes in the forecast, because I don't want to be losing any of our bales. All right. All right. We can dismiss Frank. So yeah, other than doing that loop-de-loop a little while ago, it seems like they got most of the rest of the field done down this end. So again, this is a contract that we're doing, not our grass field, but they are paying us $10,000 to cut their grass. try to avoid doing any more mowing contracts ourselves, make sure our workers can do the rest. But kind of thought this mowing contract was going to get done before I got done. Actually, while it's raining, just popped back into my head that I think earlier on today in the mod hub, there was a mod that makes it more slipperier when it is raining or something like that. I don't know if it's just on the roads, if it's in the fields or whatever. So if that's your thing to make it a little bit more realistic, might be a pain in the butt, but yeah, something to do with it when the grass is wet or the fields are wet or when it's raining. The traction gets a little bit worse. Kind of like it does in ATS or Euro Truck when it rains. Hey, contract finished. Alright, so we gotta do a couple things here. Well, I can just go out through here. But, let's put the fence back up. Because, not our field to make that choice. And also shut the gate. And let's collect on that wonderful contract. It's nice when it's done. 10,468. What else we got here for the month? Oh, there's a nice cultivating contract. That is a weird shaped field. We've done that one before with a 3-meter wide cultivator. But I think we might just skip on to the next month. Yeah, getting up to the gears, this Fed seems just a little bit slower than the Mercedes. But overall, still a nice tractor to have on the farm. Well, hello Arctic, welcome, and thank you for becoming a channel member. Very much appreciated. Hope you're having a nice Thursday so far. All them beautiful marshmallows. Expensive marshmallows at that. Alright, close enough. Drop that off there. Turn off the beacons. Half the day's gone by. What else we got in the sale page? Well, this has popped up. It's a nice trailer, but nothing that we need. Or is that a forage wagon? That's a forage wagon. don't need a forage wagon at all. And we are doing up to 141 chickens. And as you can see, as we get more adult chickens, the piles of eggs are starting to, well, pile up. Grass field, grass field, grass field. We did the harvesting. So our fields are all set. So other than doing contracts, we don't have nothing else to do today. So I could do a cultivating contract, but I think because that's a weird shaped field, we'll wait until some other ones pop up in a couple months or next month or whatever. But yeah, let's fast forward through the end of the day here. And we'll check the sale page before we go to bed. And a couple more, well, another trailer. And we definitely don't need that. All right, let's hit the snooze button. All right, let's feed Sam. We'll check the morning sale page. Well, things have disappeared, but nothing new has appeared. All right, so we got to fertilize our grass fields. So we'll probably go around, pick up the bales first, get them off the field, and then make it easier to fertilize. While I'm doing all of this, let's see, deadwood, harvesting, no, mowing, we could do. Oh, that's a weird shaped field. And, okay, so nothing else for us. Let me just fast forward, get the day kind of going. We'll double check on contracts again. Where's that grass field? Oh, I know that grass field. Okay. We could set that off while I'm doing the baling and fertilizing. Alright, but we're going to swap tractors. And I'm going to put the Mercedes on the mower. You are going to come over here and you're going to get on the bale trailer. Just because I don't want the same issue that we just had. Probably should top this off with fuel. I mean, it's fine for what we're going to be doing on the contract, but better safe than sorry. $200 in fuel. So while this contract's going on, yep, we're going to go around, pick up the bales, get them on the trailer, get them ready to be sold. And then we'll grab the 710 John Deere, and we'll go around and fertilize all 3 grass fields. Oh yeah, it's also August, that's right. Winter wheat and barley I was going to do. Or is that September? Let me get this contract started and I'll have a look. Just love the layout of this map. For another reason is, it's not like they sectioned off maps and they said, well, this section of the map will have residential houses, and this is where the production buildings will be. There's residential houses everywhere. The productions are, for the most part, separated a little bit too. There, I mean, although the northwest part of the map does not have hardly any sell points or productions, but that's okay. Yeah, but overall, the map by Black Sheep Modding and whoever worked on it, in my opinion, did a wonderful job. So this grass field here, I got to go down and around by that barn, and that is where the gate is. I think the gate is here. Yes, it is. Alrighty. Now, this setup I've used many times, so hopefully I don't have any problems with it. But it's going to take about 35 minutes, I think, to do this. Alright, 30 minutes. Alright, so we're going to jump back into the fence. Alright, let's pick up these marshmallows. They're not quite roasted yet, meaning fully fermented, but let's get them into the trailer. Are there any, I don't know precisely, any French brands or tractors made in France Are there no bales? I guess there's no bales at that end. I can't remember if you claimed your contract once before I slept. If you sleep without collecting your contract, does it not pay you? Far as I remember, because I've done it a couple times, it does not. As long as you complete the contract before the end of the contract, it should stay in the completed section of the contracts. It won't disappear. I think I did that once on, I don't know, I want to say maybe Riverview or something like that. And I think I left the contract in there for a couple months before I remembered to collect on it. So, with that contract that we're doing, and when selling these bales, That should put us up near $90,000 fairly soon. It's almost like I got the correct amount of grass fields and the right size amount of bales, because we almost fill our bale trailer. This is my fence going to get out of that grass field? Just barely. Alright, just going to park this to the side. Got to wait these to fully ferment. I think it's going to be somewhere around noon. But yeah, winter wheat and barley. Okay, that's okay. Not until September can we plant those. Not until then. Oh, now there's an interesting crop. Vetch rye I can plant September and October, and I can harvest it in March and April. But for now, I gotta stick with the winter wheat and barley. Just make sure I get enough grain piled up for our chickens. Don't want to venture into the other type of crops just yet, until I'm sure we got plenty to go around. Just make me think though, is there any fields, what are the other two fields we were looking at before? Was this one? Okay, there's nothing in this field at all. And the other one, which one was it? Maybe it was this one. 109% yield. Nothing in that one either. Alright. Yeah, so I was looking to see possibly what fields we may purchase or what's my next step here. Lots of older Renault tractors and trucks still in use in France. Renault tractors was bought up by Claas some years ago. But were they made in France? Got 75,000 extra of that spinach. I mean, that's still pretty good, and you got 250,000 for doing the contract. I didn't want to fill up with diesel. I wanted, well, I mean, it's okay if I did. Wanted solid fertilizer. There we go. I think vetch rice for, let me just see here. Yes, that is for forage harvesting, because that is not a combinable crop. Yeah, so I didn't want to do that anyways. And forage harvesting is something we probably won't be able to do here because unless I find something under 250 horsepower, because that falls under the harvesting kind of equipment, that'd be kind of rough to do. Don't need to be that close to the edge of the field. Window in France is like Ford in the US. Alright. Didn't know it was that popular there, but I'm not from there, so that's why I don't know. Nothing like a bird's eye view to keep track of your fertilizing. So that end of the grass field, that's where our cow barn's going to eventually go. Let's see, 40% done on the mowing contract. Hopefully by the time we get these fertilized and we get on to selling the silage bales, that would be almost done. Didn't look, but I don't think these need to be soil sampled. I think I did it not long ago. And I think it would have told me when I was fertilizing that it was out of data. And no, ooh, this grass field here, though, that is going to need to be sampled after next cut before we plant the alfalfa. One more cut of grass in this field before we switch it over. Just taking your guys' word for it that it yields that much. Well, you said it yields better. You didn't really say how much better, but you're pretty adamant that alfalfa is way better than grass. Is it just me, or is my contract stuck at 45% done? Okay, just as I say that, I see it went up to 46. Alright, so they're moving. As long as they're not just doing circles up there. Make sure I get this section in one headland pass. I might try at some point later on with our other spreader, but right now I'm just going to use that for lime. Putting the extenders on that and giving it a try just to see what it's like. Now we just got to clean up the little pieces that we couldn't quite get. Okay, fertilizing, done. Haven't done any first person driving in a little bit. I said I was going to do it quite a bit in the 710, and haven't done a whole lot of it since. I mean, it's a short ride, but Did I just get stopped by a piece of grass? Really? Alright. That little piece of grass is part of the chicken fence line. And we'll lower that down and we'll detach from it. Alright. Yeah, I don't think that grass has fermented yet. Nope, still showing as grass. So when it does ferment, we'll see no grass on our time-saving stock check. I'll switch over to silage. How are we doing on the eggs? So we're up to 1,600 liters of eggs, which is not bad, considering how we started with them and how they're getting along. But they don't get sold till November. And we'll see if I want to sell them this November or not. We had a little bit last year at November. I think it was like September or October. Yeah, I think it was like September, October when we put down the pen finally. So we just started off with 10 chickens, and we are now up to 100. What did that say? 160? Oh, wait, no, 180. Up to 181 chickens. And that means their feed trough is now good just for 11 months. Probably a full year if it was full. So, going by this, not quite half full on chickens. So basically, when this chicken pen gets full, it should last about 6 months in the feed trough. Give or take a month or two. Which is not bad, so I think we're okay. You guys need to grow up so you can start laying some eggs. Yeah, they're excited about it. Let's go ahead and we'll fast forward time a little bit. Let's go to at least noon. All right, that's fast enough. And now that grass should now be silage, right? Yeah, silage. So, yeah, we'll get $39,000 for it at the BGA. Good, because that's the only place I like to bring it. And then that is before our environmental score bonus, which is up to 11%. Would be a lot better if this field right here registered the nitrogen, which I don't know why it does that, but it is what it is. But we're still getting an 11% bonus. So off to the BGA to bring in $40,000. This is where that... Was it really hard work to cut that grass field and bale it? Not really. But this is where we're going to make some good cash. All right, soon to be up over $80,000. Wow, okay. Let's see, 39, 33. Yeah, about 33,000 we'll call it. Sorry, 43,000. 43,000. Got us up to 86,000. Cultivator section is a horse, 6 meter wide, be equipped with a seeder. Direct drill, but it needs a hopper. Well, that's, you know, it's good and all, but that, you know, I don't want to buy something when I already got something that can do the same thing. Yeah, it's not as wide. So I think we'll just stick with what we have. I'm going to look at it, though, just to see. But, again, just remember, I'm not allowed to lease or borrow items on this series. We got to buy everything if we're going to use it. Straw bales. I need to pick up the straw bales. Before I start drilling next month. Are they all at the other end of the field? Looks like it. While that's doing that, let's just have a look at this cultivator, apparently. Horse, 6 meter wide. Well, if that is the one, it's not a direct drill. But I mean, if it's cultivating and drilling, then technically it is. And it does require 220 horsepower, so that would be probably too much for what we have. I mean, technically all these would be, if they can seed, would be a direct drill because it's cultivating the field first. And if I go up any higher, then these don't do any of that. No, they don't. So yeah, that horse 6 meter wide requires 220. Each chicken eats 5 liters of food a day. Milk cows 350 of food a day, and beef. Now, branding's full of something. I don't know if it's information or other stuff, but he knows stuff. I didn't see how much that was. Not that I can afford it. Well, not that I could use it. Only 25,000 combinations. Then I would have to get this for another 20,000. So it cost me 45,000 just to add 2 meters to my drill, which is good because it's a 50% increase in the working width. But 220 is too much. Let's go to the wheat field and grab those straw bales. Mowing contract is just about done. I'm actually thinking maybe the next thing we kind of get going on the farm is the cows. Because it'll give us another type of job to do. And start building up some milk production. Is the dairy cheaper than the oil mill? Now, of course, if I were to keep the if I'm going to do cattle this upcoming winter, I'd probably keep the straw bales. Use it for filler on the TMR and also use it for bedding. Alright, so there's a couple things I want to check on. So we're going to go to productions. This would be kind of interesting. What do I need here? Manure, lime, and water to make liquid fertilizer. So we could buy this production here. I mean, not right now, but in the future. How much would this cost? 250,000. Why does it sound like I'm riding on an airplane? But what we can do with the cow manure and slurry that we're going to get, we could come over here and create liquid fertilizer and sell it. We can even make solid fertilizer. And we can make seed as well. Does anything use liquid slurry? Manure. Fish byproduct and water would make herbicide. What? Alright, so that's, that's not what I was in here for. Carpentry, cement, fish. Which one is the milk? There we go. How much is this production? 350,000. All right, so the oil mill is cheaper than this. What else would I be looking at here? Eventually, maybe this. 200,000, which is not bad. All right, this contract is done. Let's get out of the field. I am not sure if the starting house at the starting farm, if you can walk into. Hang on a second. Let me just collect on this contract before I forget. For 8,551. Let me get my bearings here. Can I just... All right, visit. Wait, where's the... Can we go in? I don't own it, so I don't know if I can go in or not. I want to say you can go in this house. Starting farm has it. Thank you, Nesco. Yeah, I do believe Nesco is correct that you can go in here. I think when I was looking at the map, reviewing the map myself for my Let's Play, I think you can go in here, but you got to own it. And Is it Javier? Juan? What's his name? How come he's not out here? How come my dude's not out here? Noah's out there. How come he's not outside? This dude. But whatever. Yeah, that starting house you should be able to go into. All right, we're up to 94,000 in the bank account. The flat fields, you can run it with 200 horse. But on the hills, I'm running with 250. I mean, most of my fields are flat. I'm just trying to... I'm curious, though. Would precision farming see that as a direct drill? Because it doesn't say... I know it can technically direct drill. Because it's a cultivator, so technically cultivating then drilling. But I'm not sure precision farming would recognize it as a direct drill. Therefore, your tillage score may not go up to 100%. Top 5 mods is hide NPC mod. You love it. Branding, are you telling us you just don't like being around people? Which I fully understand. So precision farming recognizes that even though it doesn't say... I know I'm going at technicalities here, but you don't know how games are coded sometimes. So if it does register as a direct drill, that would be kind of interesting to use because it's a lot cheaper than the Horse Pronto. Oh, but I'm guessing it doesn't fertilize when it drills either. Hello MTK, welcome back. Hope you're having a nice Thursday. Almost forgot what day of the week it was. Look out, Sam. It seems like lately Sam is just always trying to get in the way. All right, buddy. All right. He's always a happy dog. Just a happy dog. Middle of the day. Did I check the sale page in the middle of the day? Can't remember if I did or didn't. Let me just have a look at this again. So, I mean, it does all those crops. 6 meter wide. Working speed is 9 miles an hour. And if I were to compare that to... working speed is 12 miles an hour. And it seeds and fertilizes at the same time. Does require a little bit less horsepower. More expensive. I may have to go on my test map and just try them both out and see what we have and what it can handle. Yeah, so I'm thinking with the money that we're starting to pile up, maybe this winter after we harvest the grass again in October, we'll start putting in a cow barn. The cow barn's going to cost $80,000. And then, oh boy, I know I totaled it up once, but let me do it again because I'm a moron. I can't remember all the totals. We're going to need a tedder. $8.2, $8.9. Maybe get this one right here. A little bit more expensive, a little bit wider, but requires a little bit less horsepower. I wonder if our 710 can run that. That could ted the grass. So I'm just going to say $20,000 for that. Gets me up to $100,000. Then I need a windrow, and the windrow that's a good one to go with is this one here. That's only another $20,000. So that's $120,000. And then we're going to need... So $150,000. Probably like 200. I'm going to say $200,000, honestly, because I need to put down a manure pit. Does this say what the capacity of slurry is on the cow barns? No. Does not. But this is the cow barn we're going to go with, so whatever it is, it is. And if I need to put down an extension, we will at some point. But obviously when I start off with cows, we'll probably start off with just a little, just to see how much food they're going to require overall. But I'm thinking this winter we go with the cows first before we get into the production buildings. Because I kind of feel like once we get the production buildings going, the money's going to come in rather fast, which is fine. But I think I'm itching to get some cows. We're really getting the chickens going. And I think we can start maybe looking at the cows this upcoming this winter season. Maybe wait until spring. Wait until the winter sales are over, too. Let's go ahead and get rid of the... Oh, wait. You can't help yourself. You want to look at contracts. Yes, I do. Active, no. So baling, cultivating. Kind of looking at spraying contracts. All right, we don't have any spraying contracts. All right, so the heck with it. Let's get to the evening hours. We'll check the sale page. Again. Maybe start looking for that TMR mixer and that kind of stuff at the cow barn. See if it's there. Get it on a deal, you know. Yeah, let's get to September. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. All right, how are we doing on the chickens? Okay, so up to 201 chickens, so we're not quite half full yet. And with that being said, 1,000 liters per month. All right, I said it's going to be about a half a year total. All right, so first thing, let's see what we got for contracts. A plowing contract. So this is kind of the good thing. Since we got two quote-unquote high-powered horse tractors, I can set a tractor off to plow, and we'll use the other one to drill. Ooh, cultivating contracts. I feel like cultivating contracts might be better. The reason why I say that is because they require less horsepower than the plow. I can still not reach top speed with a plow at all, but the cultivator I should be able to. I wonder how long it would take to do this contract here. Oof. What are you going to try? These fields are right next to each other, right? 76, 77, they should be. 76, 77. There's 76. Okay, they're not anywhere near... Well, they are kind of near each other. Let's do 77. That is around the BGA. I think this field here would take a while. So let's accept that contract. And I think I will put the Mercedes on that job. How does one get to that field? It's got to be just on this road here or this road here. So I think getting the cows... because the thing is, the cows will make milk, and we can get ourselves a tanker and sell the milk. And eventually that'll help us get production. So just get our own way of making passive money by, you know, the cows will be making milk in the background. I mean, of course, we got to feed them and everything, but just additional income, just like the chickens slowly making eggs. And I think by getting the cow barn in, they'll just add more character to the farmyard as well. And we kind of need that. Kind of need a little bit more character. The chickens add a lot of character. Oh, is this, are you him? Yes, this is Dog. Let's go ahead and get into the field. Alright, it's probably going to take an hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to say an hour and 10. Although it is kind of an odd-shaped field. 4 headlands, 0% overlap. Yeah, that's all perfectly fine. Of course, please taking a moment. All right, an hour and 5. I said an hour and 10, hour and 5, that's pretty good. So, what I can do to kind of compare, this field here is 7.26. That's almost double the size, almost double. And it's a much oddlier shaped field, so a lot more turnarounds. So I'm guessing this field here would take over 2 hours with that cultivator and setup. Would I consider myself an introvert? Introvert. Intro. Definitely intro. Which is odd, considering what I used to do for a living. I used to go to a lot of people's houses and fix things. So, you know, you think I'd be fine just going out and being with other people. Yeah, I'm not for much for big crowds and such. What was I getting ready to do? Oh, I was going to drill a field. Yes, we want to plant some winter crops. Let's stop off with fertilizer, and so this time we will put winter wheat in that field. So we're going to kind of rotate our crops a little bit. Which again, I'm kind of hoping the first DLC for the Season 2 pass is going to be crop rotation. Again, I don't mind going out with some people, but it's very rare that I find a person that I can spend more than 4 hours at a time with someone. If I spend more than 4 hours with you in a row, consider yourself a highly regarded friend of mine. Because usually, most people, after a couple of hours, I'm kind of like, well, yeah, I've had my fulfill of you today. I need to move on. What is the working speed of this drill? Oh, did I not check the sale page? A wrapper. We don't need a wrapper. What is the working speed of this drill? 11. This tractor is 190 horsepower, is it not? Yeah, 190. It's a manual power shift. Okay, MTK, thanks for stopping on in. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And stay warm. Yeah, see how this tractor... I feel like the Mercedes is performing better than this Fendt, and I think it has to do with the transmission types. Because we've used this drill on the Mercedes, and it wasn't... It's trying to find the gear that it wants, and it's not happy yet. Maybe once I can get it up to speed and it won't shift, they'll be fine. But I think this is why I was mentioning earlier, like the Kubota. The Kubota can be exactly 200 horsepower, which is at the max of our restrictions. But that has a CVT transmission in it. I think that is kind of what we're looking for on the farm. Does not seem like we got to be going downhill and the other way's uphill. It's very slightly, but it's just enough to make the difference. I need to fix the pavement. That's a negative. I made it that way. Not every farmyard is perfect. I want to make it look like an old farmyard with some spaces missing in the cobblestone. Once I get more of the farmyard done, which is going to be a while, we'll fiddle around with the textures even more. I keep telling myself things I need to test on my test map before I use them here on the live stream to make sure it'll work. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to forget most of them. Yeah, the Mercedes wasn't doing all this downshifting here. Probably should have, I guess. I mean, this is the first time maybe using the Fendt on this drill. So this might be, in the long run, kind of one of the first tractors I replace. This is the 880, right? Is it 880? 818. It's not the 900, which is what I was kind of hoping to get, but this one popped up for sale, and I figured, oh, that'll work. So yeah, as I was just calculating, I don't think it's going to really cost us $200,000 to get everything we need, plus the cow barn and the cows. But I'd rather be at the high end rather than the low end. But do remember, though, we got one more cut of the grass, which means another $40,000 is going to come from the silage bales. We got this cultivating contract going on, which is actually already up to over 20% done. Yeah, this Fendt is just not performing that well for us. So again, the Fendt I wanted to get. So this is the 800 Turbo Shift. I wanted this one, the 900 series. Oh, wrong one. But it doesn't tell me what transmission is in it when we select the engine setup. But that would be the Fendt Favorite 920. That's the tractor I did want. But this one, like I said, came up for sale. I was like, alright, so it's not going to be that much different. Not that I know that Fendt 900 series is going to do that much better. Going to trade in some equipment to get the Kubota. The Kubota is pretty expensive. It's going to be, well, I might as well show you. We're kind of looking at things. There's going to be a while for that cultivating contract to get done. Is that medium or large? It's a medium series. So, yep, Kubota, if I put the 200 horsepower into it, you can see right there, it's roughly about 170,000 before I start doing some things. The tires, I usually go with BKTs, but BKTs, we cannot have wide tires, but we can have twin wheels on it. I don't know if I like the looks of the Kubota with the twin wheels on it. It does look kind of weird, but I get better traction. CVT. Vario means CVT. That's what I thought, but I wasn't too sure. But yeah, this would cost me $176,000 right now, give it, considering if I left it at that. So I would be way short. If I were to sell this tractor, which brand new is not even $90,000, I'm still way short. And I'm kind of set now, I think, I want to get the cow barn going this winter, I think. But the Mercedes seems to handle this drill better than the Fenton does. And I don't think it's because of the horsepower, because this has 10 horsepower more. I think it's the transmission setup in it. But it's okay. Like I said, in this series, I don't have any time frame for this series. It's just stick to the small stuff and just enjoy the journey of farming. I mean, I'm considering this a small farm. But for those who do like to play on small farms, you may consider this like a medium farm. I don't know. So when it comes time to plant the alfalfa in the grass field, I'm probably going to make sure I use a Mercedes. But for drilling these two fields today, until that Mercedes gets done with that cultivating contract, we'll get it done with this. Yeah, Sam has definitely been, the last couple of streams, Sam has definitely been hanging around me more often than not. Usually he's off on his own, and sometimes we don't really see him most of the time, but the last two streams, like every 5 minutes, Sam's like, hello, hello, hello. Yep, just walk right out in front. Boy, I'm glad I didn't take on that big cultivating contract. I was very tempted. I was like, you know what? You're going to regret that if you do. But, kind of the way it's going, what I may end up doing, I may do that contract, but that might be a contract I do in between streams somewhat. That will take a couple of hours to get done. Oop, nope, didn't lay it down quick enough. Yeah, the 900 Vario, I actually think I had this tractor and the 900 Vario on my Dark Forest series, and there was a big difference between the tractors, if I remember correctly. The 900 seemed like a huge upgrade. in performance. You know what? How much is this vehicle worth? Oh, I'm right on it. It's only worth $52,000. I mean, I bought it used, but then I did repair it. I was ready to say if it was worth a little bit more than that, then I would look at maybe just upgrading to this, which would cost me. All right, so I would need like 40,000. That's just. Yeah, that's too much currently for what I want to upgrade to the 900 and try it. But really, this tractor might be fine. You know, if I had this on the cultivating contract and I had the Mercedes doing the drilling, it probably perform perfectly well with the cultivator. Let's also not forget, we should have some weeds next month, but with our See and Spot weed sprayer, we'll be able to kill them off. But we haven't had many weeds growing in our fields from what I'm used to. Hard to believe a slight incline is just making it that much more difficult for us. But if we just go back a couple years ago, I didn't even have a drill or these tractors, so we'll get ourselves a nice setup at some point. I mean, this is a nice setup, but we'll get us a good setup that works well enough. Better than this. Right now, we're just rolling with the punches. But it's one of those things, as I said before, I have not used a lot of the small equipment before. If I was using all the large equipment, I'd be like, I know that drill works fine for these type of tractors. That there is not quite enough horsepower, even though the horsepower requirement meets what it needs. I mean, at this rate it's going, that cultivating contract is going to be done before I'm done drilling my 2 fields. Well, almost done with our first field. I do believe this field's bigger than the other one. I missed that completely. Alright, back to the other end. One pass on this should do it. We'll top off on the fertilizer. And go plant some winter barley. Oh, good. Fertilizer first. Let's grab that. Alright, winter barley. Winter barley. So if you are playing on this map, we kind of did a little test ourselves. There is a difference between planting the winter wheat and barley compared to the spring wheat and barley. You get a better yield by planting the winter crop, just like you do in real life. So I don't know if Black Sheep Modding did that because of that reason, but yeah, we saw about a 10% increase in yield on the barley field from spring barley to winter barley. So that's why we are planting the winter crops. So I would think we're going slightly uphill here. Yeah, so from now on, for the tractors that we have, Mercedes needs to be on the drill. Of course, now I kind of forgot. So again, this tractor has the manual power shift, and the Mercedes... Which one do I have? Just has a manual on it. But I got... I think I got this, the 180. I said 180, right? Yeah, so it's still just a manual transmission. That has just a manual transmission on it. So this field is just a bit smaller, I do believe. So it shouldn't take us as long. But really, after I get done planting these two fields, I don't have any more work to do in our fields. So, I could probably go do a contract with this Fent. See how much time I got left on that cultivating contract when I get done with this. I mean, there was that plowing contract. Yeah, I think once I get myself a CVT transmission on a tractor, we'll be good. If it was only downhill every direction I went, it'd be just perfectly fine. Nice if I put the implement down before I started driving forward again. So October will be a long month for us. Of course, the grass fields, we'll harvest those. But we're going to be changing out grass for alfalfa in the big grass field. See how long that takes. And if it doesn't take that long, maybe I'll swap over the other two fields as well. Only because you guys were so adamant that the alfalfa was that much better over grass. And if I can get more yield off of a field for the same kind of product, kind of like winter wheat, spring wheat, kind of a thing, why not upgrade it? So it'll be interesting to see how many weeds I actually get this year, though. Again, the last few years, actually since we've been on this map, I've been getting very little weeds in my fields. Almost not even worth doing the weed killing. Oh, come on, I hit the button to lower the implement. Once I get this job done, we're going to drop off the drill at the farmyard. I'm going to bring this over to, what field is that in? 77. And I'll swap out the Mercedes for this, and we'll finish up the contract ourselves. And we'll see how this performs with the cultivator. if I can somehow keep the RPMs in the same gear, it doesn't do bad. It's just every time it wants to shift, it just loses all its momentum, and yeah, it kind of sucks. As long as I can just keep on doing this way, it won't take us that long to get the rest of the field done. But I probably just jinxed myself by saying so. %, done with the cultivating contract, so it's probably got about another 20 minutes left in it. So by the time I get there, maybe 15. Hopefully we don't get that much hailstorms until next harvest time. Again, looks like the field across the road. I just realized, looks like that crop withered. It does. I don't know what it is about FS25, but it seems like the NPC's farmers don't like to harvest their crops. And finally. Might as well switch us over to alfalfa and get that ready. And make sure that we can do alfalfa, but 95% sure we can. Yeah, there it is. Let me top it off. And I'm just going to drop it right in the middle of the yard because we're going to use it next month. All right, let's go see how our worker's been doing. I mean, obviously they've been doing a great job. They're 76% done. Trying to see where they are at. Although it's kind of hard to peek. Maybe I'll ride in the Mercedes just for a little bit to see how it's performing. Excuse me, Francine. We're hopping on. So, how much time? Okay, they say about 20 more minutes. What is the working speed of that cultivator that we purchased? 9. So it got up to 8 miles an hour going uphill. It's hitting 9 miles an hour going uphill. Let's go ahead and we'll switch over to the Fendt. And we'll see how the Fendt does. Let's turn off the beacons. Are we just going to stick in first gear only? Okay, second gear. Okay, now decide to go to third gear. There we go. Ray, is it? I would suggest go watching tutorials, because I mean that is a loaded question to ask. I assume you've never played Farming Simulator before at all? Have you even watched videos on it? I would assume probably not, since you're asking how do you even start buying a farm and how to crop and all that. Well, I think when I get back down to the hill, I'm going to switch back over to the Mercedes. So, yeah, we're going to keep this Fendt on the farm, but as soon as we find or we have the means to get a different tractor, like the 900 Vario, that'd be the way to go. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell someone how to play a game when you don't know their knowledge and how much they have learned by watching, you know, Let's Plays or whatever. Alright, let's get that Mercedes. So we just did a lap with the Fendt. Obviously downhill, fine. But I mean, everything downhill is fine. So working speed is 9 miles an hour. This just seems to get through the gears better than the manual power shift does. we are 90% done with this contract. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll collect on this contract when we're done. I am going to accept the other contract, if it's still there, on the big field for $30-some-odd thousand. Probably going to take over 2 hours to do. And I'll get that contract done. We'll start it today. But I will get it all done by tomorrow's stream. In the meantime, I'll probably take that Fendt, and if that plowing contract is there, I will send it off to do that contract also. So that way when we start tomorrow, we'll have completed that plowing contract and the big cultivating contract. But from what I can see, the Mercedes is just outperforming the Fendt, which is a little disappointing. But good for the Mercedes, I guess. Even though the Fendt has 10 more horsepower, it's just that the gearbox is just... It's not good for the combo of what implements we're using. Looks like they had onions in this field. I think this cultivator is an 8.3. I think the horsepower requirement for this cultivator is 160. Peas are the best crop to start off with. Okay, maybe not. It's probably the worst crop to get involved with. Unless you're using a modded harvester. Again, this cultivator is on the mod hub. think it's classified as a shallow cultivator. And we are finally done. Alright, what was this paying, like 13,000? Oh, 16,000. 601. Yeah, collect on that. Lovely. Alright, yeah, accept the contract. While I'm here, where was there a plowing contract, right? Yes, we're going to accept that contract also. Well, let's go get this started on that cultivating contract. We'll come back, get our fence, go back to the farm, pick up the plow, and get that started in that field. Get them both started, two workers get started in that fields, or those fields. And that way we'll have, at the beginning of the next stream, if everything goes right, we'll have 2 contracts completed at $40,000 in total. Alright, let's throw the beacon on. We got a little bit of a trip. This is up behind the livestock market. Alright, so when we get to the sharp bend, I want to take a left. Field 90. I'm guessing course play may even take 2.5 hours to cultivate this field. You want to turn a little bit better next time. A 9mm cultivator is good enough for a 1 hectare size field, 100 hectare size field. We'll get that done in no time. So this was a field that we did on Tuesday for a spring weeds contract. You know, maybe it won't take 2 hours. This one here, I don't know. I think I'll just go in the middle. 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's what I'm going to go with, I suppose. 4 headlands. Yeah, that's good. Big field, so in a weird shaped field. Course play is going to take a minute. Okay, 2 hours and 3 minutes. That is not bad at all, really. Alright, back to you. Let's go grab the plow. And this one here... Alright, so just go down my... Okay, I know what field that is. So that contract got us up over 105,000. Didn't we start the stream today with like 15,000 or something like that? Alrighty, and away we go. No beacons for this road, no AI traffic. Alrighty, temporary course. Get ourselves another worker going here. Field settings, 3 headlands. You know what? I'm going to tell you to do 4, because this tractor does seem to want a bigger turning radius. And this is probably going to take about 50 minutes. Alright, that's better than I thought. It says 37 minutes, so... So this plow here should go up to 12. And we got, I think 20 more horsepower than it requires. Wait, plows. So this is a typo in the shop. On the mod hub, it says it requires 180 horsepower. And it should reach 12 miles an hour. But I have yet to reach that speed, even going downhill with my tractors. So we're going to let, who do we got here? We got Frank Jr. and we got Francine doing their jobs. Actually, this says it's already 6% done with this contract, which is then 7% done. Seems a little bit high, but you know what? It's getting it done. Is there anything I could do? So yeah, we got $30,000 contract, $10,000 contract. So actually almost 32,000. So total of $42,000 in these contracts. Probably closer to like 39,000 by the time I pay for the workers. Is there anything I could be doing with the 3650 John Deere tractor? Like a good mowing contract. Well, there's not really any good mowing contracts there currently. And is there any spraying contracts? There is, but that's a crappy one. So, yeah. So, I'll try to get these 2 contracts done before we get started next time. That'll be a good payday, of course. And then in the meantime, if I find a mowing contract that comes up, I can set up the 3650 to do that. That can handle the batwing mower. And who knows, maybe we'll get ourselves a little bit more on the contracts. But other than that, I'm officially done in these my fields for September. Just want to get those contracts done before next time, and we'll collect on those. And we'll get to October, where the grass fields, as you saw today, we cut them, mowed them, of course, baled them, wrapped them, get some silage bales. And then we will start planting some alfalfa in the big fields with the Mercedes. That should do better. And then I don't know if we'll get to the winter months or not, but if we do, we'll get through the winter. And then when spring comes, depending on what we get for winter sales, if we get that far tomorrow, we'll put down the cow barn in this area here and start buying stuff for the cows. And maybe get some cows right away. That might be a little bit too much to get done, but it all depends on how far or how long it takes to plant the alfalfa in our grass field. As for selling chicken eggs, we might sell them this November, but I don't have a means to pick them up yet. But it won't be too expensive, and really with the contracts we're doing, yeah, we might go ahead and just sell them just to bring in some cash. How much money, how much value in eggs do we have? 2,700, so it's not great, but it's there. And in the meantime, the straw again, we might be keeping the straw just because if we get the cows, we're going to need the straw. And all of the sorghum, barley, and wheats that we have, that is staying for feeding the chickens, which we should have enough to get through another year. I don't want to say no problem, but we should have enough getting through another year. But anyways, I think that is where we're going to wrap up for today. So I'm going to let these workers continue for a while. As you saw, the cultivating contract should take just about 2 hours. So yeah, I'll probably leave the game running here as I end the stream and let it run for a little while I go prep. Should I say breakfast for myself? Yeah, I've been up for like 6 hours. I'm going to go make breakfast. Or AKA dinner, as some people would call it. But yeah, I'm going to jump out of here. Yeah, appreciate everyone being here on a Thursday for some lovely farming on Pichonniere Valley. I am just checking to see if there's anyone that is currently streaming. And if they are they streaming anything in particular? Out of ore. Tell you what, we're gonna raid Farmer G. Not Farmer G. What do I want to say? Farmer J. They are doing out of ore, so you'll be sent there if you want to go watch them do what they are doing. But anywho, yeah, like I said, I'm going to jump out here. Hopefully everyone had a good Thursday, and yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow doing some more stuff here on Pichonniere Valley, unless something comes across my email, but I plan to be back here tomorrow. But anyways, yep, I'm going to jump out here. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Have a good Friday, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. But until then, have a good one.